Why relationships can make or break you. Have you ever found yourself questioning the value of certain relationships in your life? Do you feel drained, manipulated, or even used after spending time with certain people? Whether it's a friend you've known for years or even a close family member, not all relationships are beneficial. Sometimes, they can actually be toxic. In this video, we're diving deep into 9 crucial signs that it might be time to end those relationships, yes, even if it's with your family or best friend. These signs are more than just red flags, they're a wake-up call to protect your own well-being and growth. Life is too short to waste on people who don't add value to it. So, let's get started and find out if any of these signs resonate with your own life. Sign 1, they're always broke when it comes to you. You've probably encountered that friend or relative who always claims to be broke when it's time to contribute financially, but they seem to have no problem spending money on other things. Whether it's dining out, shopping, or entertainment, they appear to live life lavishly, except when they're with you. In a healthy relationship, both parties should respect each other enough to contribute equally. But when one person is constantly taking advantage of the other, it becomes clear that they value what they can get from you more than the relationship itself. And let's be honest, if they can afford to indulge in personal luxuries, but not share a meal or an experience with you, their intentions aren't sincere. This isn't just about money, it's about respect. If someone continually chooses to take without giving, they're prioritizing their own gain over the relationship. I once had a close friend who always found an excuse when it was their turn to pay for something. It wasn't about the money, but about the principle. Eventually, I had to distance myself because I realized the friendship wasn't mutual, it was transactional. Sign 2, they love to stir drama and take sides. We all know someone who never seems to shy away from an argument, even over the smallest matters. These are the people who are emotionally driven, and every disagreement turns into a full-blown quarrel. Worse yet, they'll try to rope you into taking sides in conflicts that have nothing to do with you. Life is too short to be constantly surrounded by drama. Relationships with these individuals become exhausting because their behavior is erratic and divisive. You find yourself being pulled into arguments that you have no interest in or being forced to choose sides in situations you didn't create. I remember a situation with a friend who would start fights with anyone over the smallest issues. Not only would they argue, but they would drag me into the conflict by asking me to pick sides. This not only damaged our friendship, but it also strained my relationships with others. Eventually, I had to step away, realizing that some people thrive on drama and it's better to cut them loose. Sign 3, they dismiss your worries while magnifying their own. In any healthy relationship, empathy and understanding are crucial. But some people only care about their own struggles and completely disregard yours. These are the people who will unload their problems on you without ever asking how you're doing. Worse, when you do share something, they minimize it or, worse, make it about themselves. This kind of one-sided relationship is toxic. Your emotions and experiences are valid, and someone who doesn't respect that doesn't deserve a place in your life. Relationships should be built on mutual care and concern, not emotional dumping. I once had a friend who would constantly complain about their job, relationship, and life. Whenever I tried to share something that was bothering me, they would quickly steer the conversation back to their own issues. It was draining, and I eventually realized that they weren't interested in a two-way friendship. I needed to prioritize my emotional well-being, so I ended the relationship. Sign 4, they push their beliefs on you. There's nothing more exhausting than being in a relationship with someone who constantly tries to impose their religious or political beliefs on you. While healthy discussions about differing viewpoints can be enriching, some people cross the line by forcing their opinions onto others, leaving no room for disagreement. In these cases, it's essential to protect your own peace of mind. You're not obligated to engage in debates that drain you emotionally, and you certainly don't need to keep someone in your life who doesn't respect your boundaries. Respect is a two-way street. While we may not always agree with the beliefs of those closest to us, we owe it to one another to respect our differences. A close family member once tried to pressure me into adopting their political views. At first, I engaged in debates, but it soon became clear that these weren't discussions, they were attempts to force their beliefs onto me. Eventually, I had to distance myself for the sake of my mental peace. Sign 5. You feel drained after spending time with them. Have you ever spent time with someone and, afterward, you felt completely exhausted, emotionally, mentally, or even physically? That's a sure sign of a toxic relationship. When being around someone consistently leaves you feeling depleted, it's your body and mind telling you that something is wrong. This type of emotional exhaustion often happens because the relationship is one-sided, manipulative, or filled with hidden resentments. A relationship should enrich your life, not drain it. If you consistently feel worse after spending time with someone, it's time to evaluate whether this person belongs in your life. Relationships should energize and uplift you. The people in your life should be those who add joy, not stress. If you find yourself dreading interactions with someone, it's a strong sign that the relationship has run its course. Sign 6. They make you feel guilty for setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is an essential part of maintaining healthy relationships, but some people simply don't respect them. These individuals will often try to make you feel guilty or selfish for establishing limits, whether it's about your time, energy, or personal space. If someone in your life can't accept your boundaries and continues to push them, it's a clear sign that they don't respect you. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual respect, and someone who doesn't honor your boundaries is only looking out for their own interests. Boundaries aren't just a form of self-care, they're necessary for any healthy relationship. I remember setting limits with a family member who always wanted me to be available at all times. When I explained that I needed time for myself, they made me feel guilty, accusing me of being selfish. It was hard, but eventually, I had to distance myself to maintain my peace of mind. Sign 7. They constantly undermine your accomplishments. Have you ever shared a success or achievement with someone, only to have them brush it off or diminish its importance? These people often act as though nothing you do is ever good enough. Instead of celebrating your successes with you, they may belittle or dismiss them, making you feel less confident and devalued. In a healthy relationship, people should uplift and celebrate each other's achievements, no matter how big or small. If someone is constantly making you feel inadequate or downplaying your accomplishments, it's a sign that they might be insecure or envious, and it could be time to walk away. I once had a friend who, whenever I achieved something, would respond with comments like, "That's it," or "I've seen better." Over time, I realized that their inability to support my success was a reflection of their own insecurities, and I chose to let that relationship go. Sign 8. They gaslight you. Gaslighting is a manipulative tactic used to make someone doubt their own thoughts, feelings, or perception of reality. If someone in your life consistently tells you that you're overreacting, being too sensitive, or remembering things incorrectly, they may be gaslighting you. This behavior is toxic and can be extremely damaging to your mental and emotional well-being. You deserve to be with people who validate your experiences and emotions. If someone constantly makes you second-guess yourself, it's time to reassess whether they belong in your life. No one should ever make you question your reality or emotions. Gaslighting can make you feel isolated and confused, but recognizing this manipulation is the first step toward freeing yourself from a toxic relationship. Sign 9. They're only there when they need something. Lastly, one of the most telltale signs of a toxic relationship is when someone only reaches out when they need something from you. These individuals rarely check in to see how you're doing or offer their support, but as soon as they need help, whether it's money, advice, or a favor, they're suddenly your best friend. A healthy relationship is built on reciprocity, where both parties are there for each other in good times and bad. If someone only shows up when it benefits them, it's clear that they don't genuinely care about you. I once had a friend who would disappear for months, only to pop up when they needed something. At first, I didn't notice the pattern, but over time, I realized that they were only in my life when it was convenient for them. Eventually, I had to cut ties because the relationship was entirely one-sided. Life is too short for toxic relationships. Now that we've covered the 9 key signs, it's time to reflect on your own relationships. Are there people in your life who consistently bring you down, make you question yourself, or drain your energy? If so, don't be afraid to make tough decisions and distance yourself for the sake of your well-being. Remember, you deserve relationships that lift you up, not drag you down. Take a moment to reflect on the people in your life. Are they helping you become the best version of yourself, or are they holding you back? Don't be afraid to make the tough decisions, because at the end of the day, your well-being is what truly matters.